Hello, everyone, and once again, welcome to another edition of the Cripple Connection podcast. My name is Cody Lashley, and I'm joined, as always, by my partner on this said podcast, Jeffrey Redmond. Jeffrey, what's going on, man?
Hey Cody, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. We've had a bunch of games, trailers rather, released from Gamescom. Going on right now, literally as we speak, by the way. They're on day 3 of Gamescom. And thank God, because if it wasn't for this, we really would have nothing to talk about. But if you've,
Literally, yeah.
yeah, literally, if you've been following what Jeffrey and I do here on the podcast, make sure you like and subscribe. If you enjoy our content, that gets our videos shared and seen by as many people as possible. So with that said, ain't nothing to it but to do it. Jeffrey and I have decided to kind of come up with a top 5 list of games that we were excited to see at Gamescom, or that we're excited to see more of, or that we think are interesting. Just some games that we wanted to highlight. And I think it was a good idea for today's show because it allows us to kind of both spotlight some of the different things that we're excited about, and how that's different from one another. So, Jeffrey, how do you want to do this, man? Do you want one of us to go and then
Yeah,
another one? All right, yeah. So we'll
yeah.
we'll we'll take turns, man. I'll let you go first. Why don't you go
Okay,
ahead and
okay.
show everybody your game?
S- So my first pick
So
is
my first pick.
is a series I actually have no experience in whatsoever, but
Hmm.
I think that's the cool part of it all. I'm just making sure
Yeah, I agree.
uh everything's working good. Okay, so this is Mafia Definitive Edition. And this was not a game I was really expecting.
Thing
Uh,
I've done.
oh shit, to be on my radar at all. I've never played any of the Mafia series, but I do love gangster movies. I've seen all of the Godfather films at least 5 times each. Um, we have, uh, well, that wasn't much of a thing, but it really feels like it's one of those old time gangster films, which I really love. It looks like you're going to be able to interact with a bunch of different people, and holy shit, this
Now,
thing
have
will.
you played
Uh,
any of the other Mafias?
no, no, not at all.
Okay.
So this is why it actually has me intrigued, is because I've never done it, so it's going to be like new experience for me. Like I said, I love all those gangster movies, and the graphics really do look beautiful. I know that trailer didn't show very much, but it looks really nice, and it's actually a remaster of the first game, or um, a recap of the first game. So
Yeah.
it would be a great jumping off point or starting point for me.
Okay. Cool.
So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to shooting people with Tommy guns. I'm looking forward to chases, and
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to all those old timey 20s, 30s kind of stuff.
Cool.
So
And is this a
yeah,
next gen thing? Next gen, or is
actually, actually no, it's coming soon. I think it's
okay?
next month. Yeah, so it's something very close down the line, which has me even more excited.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
No, that's awesome. I remember playing L.A. Noir and being like,
yeah,
man, I like this. I kind of should have maybe played some more of the Mafia games. Maybe I weren't giving them their just due. But all
right,
right, now I'm gonna go here and we're going to
sure.
showcase a gameplay that, or a game that I love because it has character, and I feel like for the most part, a lot of these AAA titles, we're going to be talking about them. We're going to be playing about them. I want to highlight um, some experiences that maybe you might not be on the lookout for that could have some interest. And right here, this is the Wild at Heart. And as soon as I saw this, Jeffrey, are you familiar with the game Don't Starve?
Yeah, actually, I haven't played it myself, but I have watched people play it extensively, and
Don't
it was a
Starve
big
is
thing
this,
for a while.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was. And Don't Starve is a super fun game. It's pretty much you're plopped out into the wilderness, and you're kind of, you have to live off the environment around you. And I felt as though this gave me similar vibes from the art style, from having to manipulate things in your environment. I'm a fan of the 2D art style and moving
Right.
around a map that appears kind of linear, but it allows developers to really kind of get in depth with the world that they're providing you, that they're
Yeah.
trying to show you. And I mean, again, I love stuff like this because it has character. You know, beautiful scenery. There's like a lot of stuff going on. There's like high tech stuff like hidden in the background. There's like a arcade machine. There's a TV on the ground. And from what I gather, and fuck, I'm gonna put a little bit of volume. But from what I am able to gather, you are uh, essentially trying to fix up. Uh, it looks like all these broken down like computers and machines that are kind of laying out in the wild. And I don't necessarily know, um, if you're going to be repairing them, but it's definitely you're building something up, and
Right.
it doesn't appear like there's any voiceovers in this game, so it really is all about kind of your personal experience playing it, and I like that stuff. It's quaint. I think it has a charming story, and this is the type of game that you just spend hours on without
Mhm.
realizing that you've been playing it for hours, in my
Right.
opinion. So
And it does look like this game has a sense of humor.
yeah.
One of the NPCs was named Tea Kettle Weirdo. So I mean, like it kind of got some quaint humor to it. I like that. That looks like it's very interesting.
Yeah, and there really is like a deeper story. This guy's talking about the order of the protectors or whatever that he's with, and it's really cool. I think it's got charm. Again, I don't know a ton about it. I can fast forward in the video here and try and get some new environment and new scenery, but yeah, it looks like it gets kind of trippy, and I'm into it. This is the kind of game that you're playing it and you're not really playing it for the story, and then a little while later you realize, oh, I'm actually kind of into this. Like, what's happening? What's going on? So I felt that this was a fun little showcase game that I'm excited to see more about. I don't know what platform it's on, but yeah, that's the Wild at Heart. So yeah, Jeffrey, that's my first game.
Nice.
You're up at bat, man.
Yeah. So you guys know I'm the major Star Wars nerd, right? You guys know I'm the Force user of us both ears. So like, of course, anything Star Wars, I'm gonna eat up. And this one actually pleasantly surprised me. Uh, Let me see if I can't present it here. Sorry.
My man Greg's in the chat room. Bat Daddy, what's up with you, man?
So um, here we have uh, Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker saga, and basically it's all 9 films in Lego form. They've done the first 6 before on previous consoles and whatnot, but this is the first time that all 9 films are going to be represented, and even a lot of that has changed. So there's now like voice acting in all 9, whereas before, like in the original one when they first did it, it was there was no voice acting, there was no
Yeah.
dialogue of any kind. But uh, I mean, obviously they've gotten, everything looks better. Um, Not only that, but I believe most of these games, even the ones that were done before, are completely like revamped, not just in graphics, but in terms of gameplay and stuff you can do. It's not just the same game with higher graphics. It does look like they've taken the time to basically redesign all of these from the ground up. And like I said, it covers all 9 films. So whether you're a fan of the prequels or the original trilogy, which I'm more of the original trilogy, but or the brand new trilogy that just finished up, it looks like there's going to be something here for everybody. And plus, it's going to have that quaint Lego humor that's always been there. So you're going to see a lot of silly and goofy moments, but it does seem to mirror the events of the films quite well. Um, I don't know, man. It looks nice. I never thought a Lego game looked like really crisp and clean, but this definitely does.
I
It
think I
feels like
just
a
saw
giant
young
Lego set.
Yoda with hair.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. So like you'll see goofy, stuff like that earlier. You saw Chewbacca punch the crap out of C-3PO. It's and like here the Emperor's about to pull out lightning, and he's like, and he
Yeah.
just throws it. And then he's like, "Screw this! I'm going to use real lightning." So
I mean,
I
it
mean,
seems to me as though this is like one of the most definitive like, okay, if you were wanting to play through Star Wars as you know them, the movies, like even though it's Legos, it seems like this is your best bet to like
definitely.
actually play through the games. Whereas most of the Star Wars games now, they're either spin-offs or they're doing their own kind of story that's in the Star Wars universe. So yeah, that's really cool. It seems like whether or not you like Legos, like that would be uh, a cool thing if you're a Star Wars fan.
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, even the games that were based off of the movies, back on the PS2 era and stuff, they were terrible. So, um, and I was always fond of the Lego games, so I can't wait to see, what they've updated
Right.
and all this. So yeah, I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, it does seem pretty. I've always loved the Lego games, man. Lego games are just fun. If you don't like the Lego games, there's something wrong with you, I think.
Exactly.
All right, but now we're going to go to a little game called Out of Place,
My name is
and
Marcus, and I'm the
I'm gonna hit
CEO into
the
level design and lighting art.
mute button here. Um, so again, I wanted to highlight some games that sparked my interest that weren't necessarily these big time AAA titles that we're gonna play that you're gonna play. So right here is a game called Out of Place, and it appears as though you're this boy who's out in the woods, and this little orb thing right here that you have is actually like a person, and he actually has like a personality, and uh, he will help you out throughout the game in multiple different ways. But the trailer almost kind of seemed as though like whatever this orb thing is might be leading you astray. Like it's having you do all these things throughout the environment and throughout
Mhm.
the world, and I think it's under the auspice of he's trying to help you escape from the woods, but I don't necessarily think that's what's going to happen because the orb kind of has this like ominous undertone to it. I think so.
Right.
It's kind of setting that up as like there's a greater mystery going on in the world, and you're really just kind of being used by this orb. Now, again, that's kind of me reading a lot into this,
Right.
but um, I love action adventure games that are heavy on the adventure, where it
Yeah.
has you doing something and exploring and figuring out a greater mystery to the world. You see, there's a bunch of hieroglyphs that you have to uncover, and it's connected to some kind of power. And if you notice, the bad guy here, it's glowing the same color as the orb that follows you around.
Mhm.
So that's why I have some ideas about maybe your trusted ally isn't as trusted as you thought he might be. But overall, the game looks like it requires a lot of thought. Um, and again, I'm just kind of inferring some things from what I'm looking at, but uh, you have different powers that you're
Right.
going
He's
to be.
collecting powers.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
he had a shield that he was able to use. You're going to be able to attack, but at the same time, he's not like a. This isn't a hack and slash really. It's more like timing, having to
Mhm.
figure out what to do, when to do it. Um, I don't. Again, you're able to sort of change up your powers. I'm not necessarily certain how it all works. Again, if you want to check this out. You can find all these trailers on IGN and or just on YouTube and look them up, and you can hear the developer actually telling you more about it. But I just felt that this was a fun kind of mystery adventure game where there are things kind of happening under the surface that you're just not immediately aware of, and I thought it looked like um, a fun little ditty, if you will. But we are back to Jeffrey. Jeffrey, what you
Okay.
got, man?
Yeah, that actually looks really interesting. It's got a Breath of the Wild feel, but it's
Hey,
also
before we
got
go
like
further,
a.
our man Greg in the chat room says his favorite Star Wars games were The Force Unleashed. Which
Oh, you know
those
what?
were
Fair
pretty fun.
enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'll tip my hat to you there, good sir, because I completely forgot those. They should totally remaster those. Why the fuck haven't they
Those
done
would be
that?
cool. Those would
Those
be
would be
cool.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Force Unleashed games were amazing. I totally forgot about
yeah.
those. Sorry about that. You're totally right.
Well, but you have some
Um,
more Star Wars on deck, don't you? Or was that your
yeah,
next game up?
actually, I do. I do. Yes,
Yeah, why
indeed,
don't
I
you go ahead
do.
and show that to
So
us?
so I'm if I can frickin' find it for the life of me here. Yeah, so we've also seen some more of this already, but I'll throw it out there. Now, I'm not a flight simulator guy. I mean, I played Star Fox back in the day, and I played, you know, the Rogue Squadron Star Wars games as well. But this actually feels like a return to that, if you will. And I told See, Cody's the one who usually presents his screen, so I
Hey,
am like,
I threw it right on you, bro. Sorry, I threw you into
I'm
the
like,
deep
no,
end.
no, 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 it's
No,
cool.
but
It's
you're
just
good,
that
man. Hey,
I
dude,
forget to do it.
take your
But
time.
this is Star Wars Rogue or listen to me, Rogue Squadron. Uh, Come on, damn it, play. Uh, this is the new Star Wars game that my mind is totally not allowing me to remember the name of.
Rogue
Um,
Squadron?
no, it's not Rogue. What? Oh my God, I am an idiot right
Well,
now.
it is a saying.
Uh,
It is a saying
it's
at the end.
it's the new the new Star Wars game. But anyway, it's a flight simulator. So you're going to be in a ship the whole time, which is uh, kind of kind of interesting. But it's it takes place right after Return of the Jedi, and you are actually going to be able to experience the story from two different sides. So you're simultaneously playing as a member of the Republic and a member of the Empire. So you're going to be able to get to see the rise of the New Republic and what really happened after Palpatine's fall, which I think is pretty interesting. The only game to do that so far has been Star Wars. It is Star Wars Squadrons. I'm not just, but anyway, yeah, it's Star
we
Wars
added
Squadrons. I'm sorry,
we added Rogue. No,
the,
no
the, the
Rogue here.
mind the mind blanked on me. But yeah, you're going to be able to see this war from both sides. There is going to be a single player story. Whether it's going to be a significant one that really pushes anything has yet to be seen. But I mean, just from looking at this, you can tell that they spent a lot of time, like really um, maybe not. At least in the I'm sorry, I'm all flabbergasted today. In the ship designs look absolutely amazing. The like the inside, like the cockpits, because from what I'm understanding, I don't think you can switch views, or if you can, they haven't shown that yet. So everything you're seeing right now is from a first-person view of a Tie Fighter, which is on the Empire
Well, and
side.
it also
You're
said
doing-
VR too
yeah, yeah,
at the bottom.
yeah, you're going to be able to do all of this in VR too, but it's not going to be a requirement. So, you could use controller if you wanted to, which is the only way I'm going to be able to play it. But,
Well,
um,
I mean, I imagine it would be pretty cool if you could play with the controller and put the VR headset on. So it's
and you
still
might,
like you're looking around on the inside of your cockpit, but you're still able to control the craft itself with the controller. That
yeah.
would be cool, and I think that's what they're doing.
And I mean, I muted this because I don't want to get in trouble with like Disney for copyright infringement. But let me assure you that all the sound effects and all that is what you would expect from a Star Wars experience.
And it's top tier,
So
man. It looks
it
good
is top tier.
visually.
It looks
Um,
good. Um,
it really does.
yeah,
I mean, like this to me, kind of represents, and I think that we've been seeing this too. They're really going hard with VR now more
yeah.
than like they are really attempting to put AAA titles that people would have that have a games that have a broad appeal and putting them on VR. And it seems like from Hitman, now we know we're gonna have a Call of Duty that's gonna be VR enabled.
Oh yeah.
And now we
Yep.
have this. It really does seem like the VR push is kind of bigger than it ever has been, and they're really trying to make money off of their own VR headsets and Oculus. And I mean, it's about
Yep.
time. We've been talking about that as the future of gaming for how long now?
Well, I think they finally like have the technology to
To
properly
make
push
it,
that stuff.
yeah, right.
So I think that makes a huge difference. And also, this is a game again that you're not going to have to wait for very long. This comes out on the 2nd of October. So
Oh,
again, not having to wait too long on that. And the Star Wars Lego game I forgot to mention was launching in spring 2021. So we'll have to wait a little while for that one. But this Squadron game is right down the pipeline. So this is something more immediate for the Star Wars fans, which is good.
yeah. No, it is. Yeah, they have a lot of cool new Star Wars content. They have a Vader game coming out too.
Right.
So yeah, that's for all you Star Wars nerds. That's something for you. I am going to now show you a game. Oh, I already did that. My bad. See, you're not the only one having a hard time today, Jeffrey. I am now going to show. Dude, I'm stupid. I have two that I can show. Let's do this one. So, this is Runner.
Ah, yeah, this
Hit the
one.
volume here. And, I mean, it has such a Mirror's Edge vibe to it. And
Yeah.
I liked Mirror's Edge, but that's not why I'm recommending this. I recommended this because this, to me, seems like something that I've been waiting to play for a long time. And it's a first-person action platformer. And I've said on this podcast before that I like platformers. I like figuring out puzzles on the stage and having to navigate the stage, and but normally platformers come in the form of more cartoonish games, which that's fine. This to me is it's a blend of a neo noir futuristic action game that has some pretty hardcore violence with a lot of blood, um, but it also does provide you that fast action moving adventure platform game that I don't think is done enough. Yeah, it seems to me like now there's a trend of blending genres that previously didn't go together, and
Hmm.
I feel like this is one of them. It's fast, it's fluid. You feel as though your attacks have weight. You're able to move quickly around the area, and there's a sense of speed. Um, but I also feel like there is that sense of adventure and figuring out the best way to traverse the level and uncovering things.
Hmm.
Um, there is a story to it. I'm going to be honest with you. I have no idea what it is. You can read some of the dialogue at the bottom. I kind of just found out about this. However, I'm pretty much just recommending it for the gameplay by itself. It just looks fun. I mean, if you're going to play a game, I want something that's just mindless fun. And I'm not saying that there's no story and that it's all mindless, but it does seem to me like a kind of game where you're playing it for your ability to interact with the world around you and discover and explore. I love the setting. If you look at it, it's very, like I said, neo noir, futuristic. And I like those types of titles. I like those types of games that kind of blend two genres together, and yeah, I think that's fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, that looks like Mirror's Edge. But the cool thing here is that it looks like you've got a sword, so it looks like you might
Yeah,
be uh, a a cyberpunk ninja, maybe, or some kind of an assassin, which is really cool. Like you said, the visual style has me intrigued. It looks very much like something like Blade Runner or something like that. So yeah, that looks awesome. I'll have to check
yeah,
that one
yeah,
out for sure.
definitely a lot of Blade Runner vibes, which
Hmm.
I enjoy. I love pretty much everything Philip K. Dick is one of my favorite authors ever.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but yeah, man, this is Ghost Runner, and again, forgive us, this is kind of last minute. I do not know what consoles or platforms this is on, but I'm assuming you'll be able to play it on all of them. But okay, that was my. So I've got two more. You have two more, Jeffrey, right?
Yeah, yeah, I do.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so my next one is one that we have already discussed before, um, but make sure it's actually going to come up now. Uh, this is, of course, I am talking about.
Is of course I am talking about. Is of
I'm
course
talking about Ratchet and Clank. Um, um, this is they showed off some new gameplay for this game, so I'm just kind of gonna let it roll. Hopefully, this is the right one. Um, they didn't really show anything new. They just gave us an extended look at it,
Yeah.
and this was like 7 minutes, I think, of like uninterrupted actual gameplay. There, you can actually see like the title screen, and they just go right into it. So whether it's really that fast, or if this is a build for the actual, just for the Gamescom thing, I don't know. But you were mentioning platformers earlier, and then I'm right there with you. This obviously has some shooting elements too, as you'll see. But yeah, it's just good to have an old franchise like this back. I mean, I know they did like a movie and then a game tie-in to that movie a little while ago, but it's good to have I would consider a proper Ratchet and Clank game back. Um, Everything looks cool. Uh, the One of the big things about Insomniac is has always been their weapon choice. So I'm interested to see um, what kind of weapons there are, and just like how you can combo that together with all the time elements. Because if you let this roll for a bit,
Hey, I actually chose this one too. Uh,
oh, okay,
so the video is kind of choppy. Let me go ahead and play mine. Go
okay,
ahead and
yeah,
exit out of it, and then I'll let you start again once you have it up. Um,
sure.
but yeah, I actually do have. I did pick this one too, and I'm gonna let you finish, and then I'll tell you my reasons for picking this one also. Ratchet and Clank.
So the big deal with this game, more than any of the other ones, is the actual rift mechanic or the time mechanic. So there are going to be points in the levels where you're going to have these actual like cracks or rifts that you can use a tether on, and this tether actually like changes the layout of the level. Um, so like there are boxes, you know, where there weren't before, or maybe the enemy is now closer to you, or maybe, and hell, in big sections, there's places where like the time will change. So like you'll go from like the prehistoric era to like futuristic to all these different eras in time, which I
Yep.
think is really cool. And it's going to be interesting to see how all of these mechanics are woven together. And I remember the developers talking, and they said, this is something that they could not have done this generation. This required an SSD. This
Yep.
required a much faster processor. And as a And this is a confirmed launch window game for the PS5 now. So, as a launch window game, I think this game has the potential to really show the power of the PS5 and what
Yeah.
it's capable of doing, which I'm really excited to see.
I am too, and one of the reasons why I picked this as one of my games. I mean, we all know that Ratchet and Clank is coming out, but and it's the reason I chose it is for the last reason that you mentioned, and it's that this game to me is next generation. So if you
Yeah.
look at, I mean, even look at the textures in Clank's face, how you can see the reflections of everything that's next to him, everything that's going on in front of them. This game is absolutely gorgeous, and to me, it also represents. And I mean, there have been other games like this before. I mean, Last of Us 2 that we just recently quit or finished playing, but the transition from gameplay to cutscene is absolutely seamless. Like,
Right.
I mean, you are literally playing a giant cutscene. I mean, it looks so good. And, you know, Ratchet and Clank, I was always more of a Jack and Daxter fan. I never got super into Ratchet and Clank like I did Jack and Daxter, but I love the variety of things that you can do. All the
Mhm.
different weapons that you have. I mean, it's the Ratchet and Clank series is legendary for that. But now you look at the world, and even though it's, I'm assuming this is a linear game. I mean, it
Yeah.
looks linear, but it still has elements of like there are people floating around, like just normal civilians. Like it actually does feel like a lived-in world instead of a level. Like you're in a city right now. I'm curious to know what kind of level of freedom you will have.
Yeah.
Um, when you're playing these levels, that you're going to be able to move from different parts of the city to another, or are you pretty much on rails? As you can see, there's tons of shenanigans. This is fun for the whole family. If you have kids, or if you don't, there's just a lot here for everyone. I love the portal idea. It seems as though that gives them an idea to make all the levels very different and varied in the style of what you're going to be doing. As you said, there's going to be some prehistoric levels, some futuristic levels. Um, there's one you'll see here in a minute on a ship. They're on a boat, and that's where you see the Kraken. There's just so much stuff going on, and you know that this isn't even scratching the surface. You're only seeing 4 weapons right now, but you can see that there are others that you're going to be able to get. Um, it's just a fun. There's just a silly time, fun gameplay, and one of the things that I'm happy about, um, and I think that you probably echo that same sentiment, Jeffrey, is that it feels like the platformer is trying to make a comeback. And I
Definitely.
love a badass platformer. It's just so fun. I think the new Rift gameplay elements are going to complement this game nicely. I think it's going to work out well. You're going to be able to play as a female wombat character. We don't
Yep. She shows up
necessarily.
at the end.
Yeah, we don't know. We
We
don't
don't
know
know
her
her name
name
yet.
yet. Yeah, but it looks fun, man. It looks like an adventure that you're destined to have fun playing.
Yeah, it definitely does.
I'll let the. So, do you remember that guy's name? The dude in the main villain.
Uh,
Oh, and
no.
then you have shit like this, man. Like where you're
Yeah, yeah,
moving
yeah.
through like these darkly lit like mining places. Then you're back in the city. I mean, dude, this just seems sick. The like I said, the biggest question I have is what level of freedom and movement you're going to be able to have as you traverse these different maps. You know, it does
Right.
look like it's on rails, this defined path, but when you're not in the middle of a crazy mission like this, I am interested as to what level of freedom you're going to be able to have. But look at that world, man. You have a bunch of moons and planets in the background. You have
It's
these
gorgeous, dude.
badass like fantasy pirate ships. I mean, dude, this is what dreams are made of, man. I just love this type of
Definitely.
shit. We see that, yeah. This is where Clank and Ratchet get separated and you're introduced to our female protagonist. Lynx, right? They're lynxes.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. Uh, you know, because this is about universes and stuff, I'm wondering if that's Ratchet's counterpart just in a different universe. So maybe he ended up being a female in that universe. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So like
yeah,
it could be a whole time warp thing, which is also really cool. That's not guaranteed that, but there's all kinds of manipulation and cool shit you can do with time and space. So I'm really interested to see all the crap they can pull out.
yeah.
So yeah.
All right, I'm going to throw up my next one, and then you will do yours, and we will be done for the day. Another one in the books.
Sounds good, man.
Let's talk about Hello Neighbor.
Really? Okay.
Hello Neighbor 2.
Oof. All right.
Now, I hit the. Now, I'm very lucky that I was actually able to play some of this. The original Hello Neighbor. Because originally it kind of flew under the radar, but there's such a cool story here, man. Your neighbor is like this weird, freaky, almost like a devil worshipping guy,
Yeah.
and there's this mystery around him. And it's up to you, his nosy neighbor, to uncover what the hell this psycho has going on. And
Yeah.
if you notice a theme between all the games I've shown, I love style. I love something that looks colorful and vibrant and different, and it pops. I also like a puzzle game. I like when you have to figure out the world in front of you, where you have to, uh, figure out how to traverse the level in the proper way. So as you can see right there, you had to distract the henchman to get up to the next level, so it adds that era of suspense. Also knowing that you're in another dude's house and the guy's a psychopath, like it's just a fun game. What they were able to do with the first one, I was a huge fan of. A lot of people would like watch people stream this game just because of the story and the mystery and the crazy violence that ends up going on. It's just fun. And I actually didn't get a chance to beat the first one, so I'm gonna have to do that before this comes out. But I just thought that it was fun. I'm happy that they're making a sequel to this game. I enjoyed it, and it's a game I look forward to playing.
I know this took the streaming platform by storm, and
Right.
especially in its early access. I was very interested in the story as well. Uh, I mean, if you follow the Game Theory channel or any of those,
Yeah.
they covered this game, extensively lore wise, and there was all these like Faustian devil deals kind of things, and all this interesting, horror vibes that I got from it. But as an actual game, I was kind of disappointed because I mean I know it's a smaller developing company, so I don't want to place too much on them, but the physics and some of the ways you were able to end up breaking the puzzles actually kind of dissuaded me from playing it because apparently the coding was so cheap that a lot of it could really be like
Yeah,
extorted
and
and
I
broken.
that was a problem, and that's also one of the reasons that I'm hopeful that this went to an indie game to something that now has a name behind it, and I'm hoping
Right.
that they were able to fix a lot of the things that were broken in the first one, and that they were able to fix them better in number two. Because overall, it provided a great experience. It was fun.
Yep.
It had mystery. There was an air of suspense. It was just fun, and it was a game that it was like a breath of fresh air. Especially at the time, I
Hmm.
didn't really have a lot going on, and just to be able to waste time playing a fun game like this, where
Hmm.
I mean you're trying not to be caught, but also, like I said, uncover this mystery about this crazy dude. There's Easter eggs kind of hidden all over his house, so it really rewards exploration and figuring out the lay of the land and what all your different options are, what
Hmm.
items you can use. It's just a fun a fun mystery game, a first-person mystery game, and I felt that it was um, it was worth mentioning, not only for this game, but also if people hadn't played the first one, it'd be a good opportunity to do so now. It's a
Yep.
fun game. Highly recommend it. Highly.
Okay, cool.
All right. So we are down to only one. Jeffrey.
So my number one. Well, first let me give an honorable mention to two games because I've had a hard time putting this all together, and even right now I've changed my answer at the last minute here. Uh, my 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 two honorable mentions. One goes to the new Medal of Honor that's coming out. It's going to be a completely VR game.
Right, that's what I meant earlier. I said Call of Duty. I meant Medal of Honor.
Medal of Honor. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, there's the Medal of Honor game coming out. It's supposedly being done by the same storyteller who did uh, the Allied Assault, which was the one where that actually took place during D-Day, which is one of the more famous ones back on the PS2 and PC. I remember loving that game. So hopefully they can take the VR thing to the next level. I'm not gonna show that because, like I said, it's an honorable mention. My other honorable mention goes to the new Dragon Age game, which has not been named yet. Um, I've never played a Dragon Age game. People say they are great and fantastic RPGs, but I have never played them. I guess the last one didn't do too well or wasn't that great. There was some backlash here and there, so I'm hopeful that the new game will be a good entry point into the series. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one, but I'm also cautious. Uh, my number one, which I guess is really not that much of a surprise, is Crash Bandicoot 4. It's about time. Um, they didn't really. The trailer in this one was mostly developers talking, but they spoke at length of some of the new features. Like there are these.
Did they show it off in the gameplay?
I'm trying to find the throwback. I had it just a fucking second ago.
I can pull it up.
It was.
Just tell me if you find it first. Whoever finds it first.
I'll find it. It was because they showed off some. They're called flashback tapes. Crash.
I will find it. I know it's up here. Here it is.
Yeah, there it is. Okay. I found it. So, do you want to share it, or do you want me to do it, or?
I'll share it.
So, so basically, these flashback levels are like bonus levels that you get to play.
This is the one you're talking about, right?
Hang on a second. Yeah. If you go a little further, they actually show some stuff. But these are actually based on courses from the previous games, and they're like little challenge rooms. But if you get through them, you get to see like extended, like the gameplay gets extended. So like, so the story behind these are tapes of Cortex putting Crash through these obstacle courses, like, because originally Cortex was going to use Crash and Coco, his sister, as one of the minions, one of his minions. So like this is before, so like this is before he turned good. So you get to see like all the obstacles that Cortex put them through, and you get a little more backstory on like how they broke out of his control and such. So it adds a little bit more to uh, the backstory of Crash Bandicoot, which is actually something that we haven't really explored before, because before all we knew was that Cortex experiment failed, and suddenly, Crash and Coco were good guys. Well, now we get to see, you know, the kind of stuff that they went through, the kind of training they went through prior to turning good, which, also allows the developers to bring in old levels from past games as little training courses. And they said a lot of these are like little puzzle areas, so you're not just going to be able to jump forward the entire time. You're going to have to think about your path through the level, kind of like, a little obstacle course, which,
So it's almost like they're mini games in a sense.
yeah, mini games, little things you can do. So I thought that was kind of cool. Not a huge thing, but I thought that was a cool new development. And we were talking about platformers earlier, and
Yeah.
I really do think, um, you know, between this and Ratchet and Clank, these are going to be the two things that really um, define. Well, I don't even want to say the PlayStation, because this is multi-platform now, because Crash isn't exclusively PlayStation.
Oh, Crash
So
is coming to the Xbox?
I believe so, if my memory serves.
Hmm.
Since it's
Okay.
since it's Toys for Bob, I think I don't think this is a PS exclusive. I could be wrong on that. Um, but yeah, I've always loved these games. Crash Bandicoot 2 was the first PlayStation game I ever owned. So it's awesome that this series is being brought back at all. So
Yep.
yeah, I think this is the one I'm most excited for.
Nice. Yeah, I'm like I said, I've missed the platformer as a genre. I love playing them. It's just like I keep saying mindless fun, but it's not mindless. It just requires that puzzle solving part of your brain, and it's not. It's just out of the wheelhouse of what you're normally used to playing, especially in terms of these action adventure games. It's like the complete opposite of that, but they're every bit as fun. Um,
Right.
yeah, I love them. I can't wait for Crash to come out, Ratchet and Clank. Man, the only thing that would make me happy, even happier, is if there was another Jack and Daxter. But I
Yeah,
don't think
definitely.
that we're gonna get that, which is sad. Um, but yeah, shout out to Jack and Daxter. Naughty Dog's working on some other crazy shit right now, anyway. So
I just looked it up, and yes, this is also coming out for the Xbox One, so it's no longer a PlayStation exclusive, which feels really weird to me. But um, so but it gets more exposure that way. So in a way, I'm happy, but
right,
that just seems really strange. um,
yeah, it
but yeah,
does.
as I said, this is done for by Toys for Bob, who did the Spyro Reignited trilogy. So this is no longer technically Naughty Dog either, but it's very clear that these developers understand how to revamp classic games. And this, if I didn't know this was Naughty Dog, I wouldn't question it,
Yeah,
because it does look so much like those old titles. So, yeah, I'm really excited to see what they end up doing with
yeah,
it.
it looks great. It definitely looks good. But Jeffrey, I think another episode of the Cripple Connection podcast is in the books.
Wait, did you go? What was you?
Yeah, so you kind of threw me a curveball because you said you were going to do Dragon
Oh,
Age
oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I
instead of
did. I'm
Ratchet and
sorry.
Clank. Ratchet and
I'm
Clank,
sorry. Yeah,
we kind of both
yeah.
did too. But yeah, I had yeah, I did all five.
Okay.
We just ended up sharing one, so I just decided to
Oh,
do
yeah,
that
that's what it was.
as
Okay, that threw
at the
me off.
same time.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
dare you, sir? No,
I know.
I'm playing. No, man, but yeah, why don't you go ahead and tell the people how they can get a hold of you?
So you can find me on Twitter. I'm at Jeffred, so JEFFRORED. You can drop by. We can talk about video games or the podcast or hell anything else you want to discuss. I'm down for. So just hit me up whenever.
And my name is Cody Lash, and you can find me at Cody Lack on Twitter, CODYLAC. You can find me every Tuesday night on the Cripple Connection podcast. I mean, excuse me. Yeah, right. What am I saying? On the C3 Carolina Cat Chronicles podcast.
There you go.
And if you like what we do here, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share it with your friends. We talk about everything in video games from the perspective of two handicapped dudes playing them, man. So that's another episode of the Cripple Connection podcast in the books. Join us next Saturday at 4 p.m. in the afternoon, and we'll be here to talk games. Peace and love, everybody.
Peace, guys.